Magera Football Club, Gabriel Joao! Oh, 5-1 for KCCA Football Club! Tries out this number challenge. Joao Gabriel! What a goal here from... Tries out this number challenge. Joao Gabriel! What a goal here from Joao Gabriel! And the fans, darling, gives a KCCA Football Club. Tries out this challenge.
I'm here to stay.
Yes, Joao Gabriel Kodoso Estevez is here to stay for another 2 years at the club, as the club broke the news 2 days ago to confirm that the Brazilian international has renewed his stay with the club. This and so much more today with me. I have two guests on the show, two KCCA players that very many people would want to know. We rarely host players on the show, but I have them here today to tell us their story at the club, what they've gone through ever since they joined. I must say both of them have not had a very good, easy, clear start to life at KCCA Football Club, but I mean, that is what football is about. You cannot hit the ground immediately. Some people do, others don't. And also later on in the show, we do have a sit-down interview I had with the co-coach Jackson Magera, the first co-coach. As you're all aware, KCCA Football Club announced the other week that it has agreed to take on two co-coaches in the name of Brian Sengendo and Jackson Magera. So earlier this week, I sat down with Jackson Kadu Magera and had a chat about what it's like to be in the new model of co-coaching, and then also what it's like to finally get the job at KCCA Football Club, because he has been an interim coach for quite a while. He was an interim coach when KCCA decided to mutually terminate his contract with Sergio Traguil. He took over as an interim coach, and then also recently when the club decided to part ways with Abdallah Mobiru, he took over as interim coach. He is now finally having the job as a co-coach, and we wait to see what he said in that interview. We have this and a lot more coming up in the show with me, your host, Patrick Fred Ocheng. We kick this off, of course, with Joao Gabriel Estevez Kodoso, who was announced by the club as a player who has renewed his stay at the club for more 2 years, that is between 2025 to 2027. Very many people reacted to the stories, very many people were happy. Of course, the opponents and rivals were not very happy, mostly because most of the news outlets had linked him to Entebbe Road. I don't know how true that was. Of course, he's a very lovely, fantastic, magical player, and every club would want to have his services. But unfortunately, to all the other clubs and the rivals, he decided to stay at KCCA Football Club. So later on, we are going to have to read the reactions, your reactions on social media, to see how different people reacted to the story of João Gabriel. Many people call him Gabi, and we see what people had to say. Now, I have two gentlemen with me, Joel Sserunjogi and Anyama Emmanuel, but of course later on we shall have that interview from Jackson Magera, the KCCA FC coach. So that is another guest that I have with me here in studio, going live. It's not a recorded, so those of you who think it's recorded, he is with me here live in the studio. Emmanuel Anyama, KCCA FC player, and also happens to be the top scorer of KCCA Football Club in the previously concluded season. Well, and that's a midfield maestro, Joel Sserunjogi. I do not have much to say about him because I've talked about him the entire season. I think every time I come on the show, I've talked about him. And both players, by the way, are in the national team provisional squad for the CHAN tournament that is kicking off very soon. So I would like to kick off with my guests. Anyama. On my immediate right is Joel Anyama. I mean, now I'm calling Joel Anyama. I'm mixing both of you. Soon I'm going to say Sserunjogi Emmanuel. Emma, welcome to KCCA FC TV. I know it's your first time to join us. Welcome live on TV.
Yeah, thank you. I'm grateful to be here.
Did you tell all the people at home to tune in because we are here live? Are they on?
Yeah, the people at home, they're following the club. They're following the club program, so probably they might be following.
Oh, okay. Joel Sserunjogi. Welcome to KCCA Football Club.
Yeah, thank you. I'm honored to be here. Yeah, because this is my first time.
Yeah, it's all your first times. So I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm going to use different languages for easier communication because I want this discussion to be as nice as possible. So I'm going to, slowly, I'm going to have to combine languages. Anyama, for starters, I'm going to start with you. How then do you end up at KCCA Football Club? And maybe for the viewers out there who would want to know, who are seeing you for the first time, I know people already know about you. Which club did you join from to come to KCCA Football Club?
Yeah, when I look back at the story of my being here at KCCA, I would like to say it was by the grace of God that I am here. By then, I was playing for Karunji. That was when I was spotted by KCCA to be here at the team. But at the league, of big league, by then I was a bit performing, but not that there were strikers who were performing higher. They were at higher performance than me. They were doing better than me. But KCCA spotted me. The best reason was known by them. Yeah. What I know is that I'm capable, of course. I can do what a team needs me to do. So, but all in all, it was by the grace of God that I ended up here in KCCA. The journey was very long, very long. It was long. Many things happened. The ability, I was determined. I knew one day I would make it in this club. I knew one day I would make it in a better club. But being here at KCCA last season was also a surprise to me. It was, yeah, of course.
It was a dream come true.
Yeah, it was. I knew I would be in this club or in a better club one day. But last season was really
yeah,
a surprise to me.
I know it is very hard to join from big league to KCCA Football Club and then start playing right away. I must say, it wasn't easy for you the start of the season. You came into KCCA, a different club, the biggest club in the country. Okay, one of the biggest, but we can all agree it's the biggest club in the country. How was life like when you first entered into the dressing room? Comparing big league, a big league club, Karunji, and then I don't want to say a Premier League club, because KCCA is, even in the Premier League, it's one of the best clubs. How was life like, and how were things different from big league?
Comparing KCCA and the things in a big league, there are so much difference. There are so much difference. KCCA everything is professional. I used to hear about professionalism from players, but I came and felt it in KCCA myself. In big league, there was not so much professionalism in a big league. You can play, you can do other things.
As you're playing?
Yeah, you can do other things. The way you handle yourself is different. So I came here at KCCA and things are different. So it was a new environment to me. That was why things were a bit not fair to me at the beginning of the season. When I joined, things were not easy due to the changes of the lifestyle, and many things changed from big league to the Premier League, and KCCA itself is a professional club and everything is professional. So
I want us to, I know there are very many differences between the big league and then the Premier League, but what are some of those things you look at that were happening in the big league and you came to a professional club? You're talking about professionalism. Those few things, okay, like one thing you can mention that was totally different, that, okay, funny. I don't want to say different, something that...
funny? Something funny?
Yeah, something that you look at in the big league, and then it's the unprofessional things maybe that are done in the big league. And then you came to KCCA and it was totally different, and you were left in shock because it was your first time to play to come to a club that does things professionally.
Time. Here you have to be on time. Everything is on time.
In big league, you would go anytime.
Yeah, in big league, you can come when people are already training and you will be invited in training. In KCCA, you have to come 1 hour before the training
How
time.
are you people winning games if you have to come your time?
We were winning because most of the clubs have that mentality. So we are in the same room. None of the few clubs are only out of that kind of lifestyle. Most of
maybe
the clubs
those that
not.
have been in the league and were relegated.
So most of them are having that kind of mentality. That's why we managed to win some games.
Okay, I'll come back to you because your story of big league is not. So, Joel, gwe wavaawa ono wa big league, gwe wavaawo okujja mu KCCA kuba emboozi kati nyingi nnyo. Oba tukose ku Luzungu. Njagala olulimi lwoli compatible with. Let us use English then, because I want Anyama to also get what we are saying. I don't want him to see us laughing and he's also joining the laughter. Where did you join to come to KCCA Football Club? Where were you playing your football from?
I was playing from Kajansi. A team, it was called Kajansi United. Yeah, and that's where Coach
By
Saka,
that time, where was it playing?
in regional.
Regional. Not even big league.
Yeah.
So for you, we were below Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Emmanuel was
I
in
was
big
far
league.
below.
For you, we were down.
Yeah, just only like one step below. Then Anyama in big league. Yeah.
You guys.
So, yeah, that's where I joined from.
Who spotted you?
It was at first it was Sulaiman Mutiaba, a former player from KCC.
Yeah.
He saw me we were playing. Then he was like, "Do you have a team?" And I was like, "No." He was like,
But
should
you had
get a-"
Kajansi United. You
Yeah.
mean that wasn't a team?
No, a Super League team.
Oh.
Yeah, a Super League team. Then he was like, "You should get a Super League team to play for." And I was like, "I don't have any opportunity." Yeah. Then he told me, "I'm going to help you with that." Yeah. He told me, "Go home. I'll be contacting you on when to start training at KCC." Then I was like, "Okay." Then one day I was at home, busy sleeping. He called me. He called me. He was like, "Joel, today in the evening you'll go to at Lugogo for training with Coach Saka." Yeah. Then I went there. I kept time. Then
Not
I found
the Anyamas who come.
no. Because
Anytime they
it
want.
was an opportunity to grab. You get. Then I kept time because I reached there. I found Poloto, Coach Saka. They were having individual trainings. Yeah. Coach Saka told me, you get your training kits. You put on. Then I got my training kits. I started training with them. I would train like for 30 minutes. On.
Were you training with the senior team
No.
or the junior team?
Not even the
You were
senior team.
alone?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You wanted to see what you have. Okay.
Maybe. Then after that, I went back home. They never called me again for that week, for that whole week. Then
Trained once?
yeah, I trained once. Then I went back to Kajansi. Then after
What you see with the younger guy? You had told them goodbye. That entire week, what were you doing? They were looking for you because you had KCCA. Oh.
yeah, then when I went back home, I joined Masaza. I joined Budu. Yeah. Then Coach Saka came again
To watch.
Yeah, came again to watch. Then he found me there. Yeah. After finding me there, he got my number. Then the next morning was like, you should come back to KCC to train with the senior team. He gave me a second chance. Yeah. Then the next morning I went to KCC for training. That's where I found Coach Twagu, Sergio. Yeah. And then that's how I joined KCC.
Looking at that picture there, a boy from regional. Within a year, you are actually in the Uganda Cranes national team. How do you feel as a player, and what does it make you feel? You see, the Minister of Finance says the Uganda's economy is going sweet. Yes, I think the pace at which you developed and grew into the player you are, that picture in the national team colors, how does it make you feel as a player?
Just makes me feel humbled, and it gives me strength to work more, because I need to achieve many things in life. Yeah.
Like your friend Anyama Emmanuel here, you also had a very rough start. I don't know if you recall your first game at KCCA Football Club.
I recall for sure.
It was the
Against
pre-season
Kakamega.
game against Kakamega,
Yeah.
where you played how many minutes? Do you even recall the minutes?
Like 20.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you were substituted. You know, I want you to be honest. As a player, how did it feel? How much weight did you have? You know, you're a young player from the regional, then you get your chance, first game you're playing, and then you're substituted after the first 20 minutes of the game. How did it feel walking out of the pitch?
At first I felt like crying for sure.
You didn't cry?
I didn't, but I felt like doing so. Yeah, because I was very, very nervous.
You couldn't?
I couldn't imagine, because at first I was there in the dressing room. Then coach was like, Joel, you're going to start. I was like, how am I going to handle this?
Did you at some point want to tell him, can I please come as a substitute?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then you became very nervous. I recall the game, 20 minutes in. If you had to rate your first 20 minutes at the club, during that game, out of 10, how much do you think you had put in, performance-wise? Because I know you have self-reflection. At the end of the day, you reflect on how the game went. Those 20 minutes before you were substituted, out of 10, how much do you think you had given the team?
Like 3, to be honest. Like 3.
So even when you were crying, even if you felt like crying, you felt like you're crying for the right cause. The coach was right to bring you out.
Yeah.
Okay, at some point as a player, do you feel like you can tell the coach to substitute you if you're not giving enough, or you feel like you can still give enough? Of course, there are bad days in office.
Sometimes you need to be given some time. Yeah, because you can make some little mistakes, then eventually you change. Yeah.
So do you feel you were given enough time to get into the team? Do you feel maybe they rushed you into starting the game?
At the first game?
Yes. Do you think you maybe needed more time to play with the first team? Do you feel like they rushed you, or it was the perfect time? And
no, by that time, you know, moving from a regional league to a super league, that's a huge gap. So you need to have some time. You get, yeah.
Anyama, back to you. How did you manage to? You've also had a rough start at the club. What were you feeling like? Of course, you had injuries as well in there. But how were you feeling being sidelined when the season had begun, not having too much playing time as a player? You know, most times we don't talk to players, or we don't look at their mental strength or mental issues. As a player, how did you feel? How was it like for you to be down there, not getting playing time? Did you at some point feel like, this is it for me, before the turnaround?
Well, when I first came to KCCA, I was welcomed and I found the Saban was still at the club,
Yes.
and the club was still having the Saban in their plan, so they were still negotiating with Saban to keep him. But it went on and Saban left. So you see, this is a time of media where you hear everything, you see everything. And I'm seeing, and people sometimes come to me and say that, man, you are able, you can take over from Saban, you can make it, you can do all this. So they put the load on me.
The pressure.
They put the load on me. So I felt like,
Aren't you a
okay.
coward?
I felt like, yeah, I felt like, okay, Saban left, there's no another striker, I'm here. Abu Potter was there. Yeah, it was, but to be honest, it's like the way they were talking, it's like they will never believe in Abu. They never believe Abu could do something, so they swept all the things on me.
Isn't that good?
It was okay for the club to trust me. They trusted me, it's okay. But I have my own kind of dealing with such a situation. So I think it has affected me a bit. Now I told myself, okay, this is a time. And I'm someone who believes in God, and God moves with season. There's a way I believe. You cannot end into something and you jump into success. It's not there with God. You have to first pass some kind of situations and then you get your success. That's how God deals with people. And they expected a good result from me from the beginning, and the result did not come. I tried to play some games providing the result they want from me.
It wasn't happening.
It was not happening. It put more pressure on me, and the trust they had on me started vanishing. They started doubting me. Everyone started doubting me. Can this boy really help us?
No, that's
Can
where
this
I
boy
wanted.
really help us?
How was it like at such a
So
moment?
it was
as a
really
player?
hard. It was really hard because I wanted to maintain the belief they have on me. Because
it was
you
no
see,
longer
Anyama
there.
can make it. Anyama can make it. He scored goals in big league, and big league is a hard league. So I wanted to maintain the belief. I failed to maintain it. I felt bad, really bad. So it was hard from the beginning. So I started coming up. I tried my best. I started coming up. That's why at the end, at least I started normalizing the pressure with some advices from my mentors, from my own people, from my coaches. I picked up.
I'm going to come back to that. Joel, you've been in the same shoes as Anyama. As players, do you have conversations you have as teammates at times? Maybe you're having a bad patch in the game, things are not happening as they were supposed to happen maybe. Do you have certain players you confide in and talk to them and maybe see what they can do, or you die with your own stress and own issues?
No. Most of the times I speak to Gavin, Saidi, Emojong. Then back in the days I used to also talk with Elvis most of the times because he was my closest friend, Elvis. Yeah. Yeah, because you can't be quiet when something's hurting you every time. You get. Yeah.
Do you also talk to some players? I want to see the list of players you talk to. Or for you, it's God and you.
No. God uses people to help people. God does not come and talk to me like that. He uses people, so I have to be into contact with people.
Maybe like certain players in the club.
Yeah,
that,
for real, it has been hard, and I had to talk to some players like Poloto. Poloto has been there with me.
The captain.
By the way, Poloto has believed in me from the beginning. And I thank him wherever he is. May God bless him, because he believed in me. He never left me in kind of situation. He said, Anyama, you can
Everyone, or even the club that bought you. even
yeah.
players.
But at some point, there are some people who leaves you. That's honest.
Yeah,
At some
that
point,
is
they are
the
not
truth.
there for you, but Poloto has been there in every situation with me. I may not perform better, but he comes to me and says, Anyama, this is normal with football. You can make it, and you are a better player. So that's the difference between him and some other people. So I cannot put everyone in the same basket and praise them. No, for him, it's a special.
Okay, for those of you that are watching us, you just have to be reminded that you shouldn't change the dial, because very soon we are going to have that interview with Coach Jackson Magera that is going to drop. So if you're thinking about changing the channel away from NBS Sport or KCCFC TV, I'm here to tell you that do not even think about it, because we're having a hot discussion here with these two gentlemen. But just a short reminder that the interview with Coach Jackson Magera, another burning, lovely interview I had with him. He had his honest opinions, and everything is unfiltered. So back to the gentlemen here. I don't hear any of you talking about sharing with the coaches. So I don't know, you put the coaches out when you're having your problems. Don't you think a coach is someone you can talk to about your issues, or that is too high? I'll start with Joel.
Okay. First, you have to approach the captain. Yeah. Then the next is the coach.
Anyama, what of you?
For me, there are some situations I approach coach, normally Coach Magera. To be honest, I've ever gone to him and asked him some questions, and he started to. He's a honest coach. When you are not good, he tells you are not good. That's the best with him. He's honest. So sometimes I go to him and he gave me some good advices. I had to work on where my weaknesses are. And normally him, I went to my other coaches. I can't remember going to another coach. It was him.
Joel, let me start with Emmanuel Anyama.
Yes.
Which friends did you make first when you joined the club? The first friends that you made? I want the first two.
The first two? Nana. Shafiq Nana. Yeah, he's my, and up to now he's still my friend. Then Munguchi Steven.
Munguchi.
Where Munguchi Steven. Yeah. Those are the two guys.
Your reaction there when you scored that goal, what was it like? I see the emotions, and what was it like? There are some goals you score and you really celebrate with a lot of emotions, and there are those you score and it's normal stuff. I don't understand.
Yeah, for sure. When you score a certain goal, like the goal I scored, the second goal I scored against SC Villa. We were leading the goal, they scored, and you see, we the players, there's a way sometimes we judge the officiation. And the officiation can make you annoyed. You play, but you're already annoyed because of the officiation. So I scored that goal and celebrated because how we were treated in the officiation. The referee was doing his best. However, it was not in our way, according to our judgment. He's a professional, he's a referee, he knows what he's doing.
But that's the game. It's all over. So, and at KCCA, we try so much to let the refs do their job, the players do their job, the technical team also does its job, and we can't say much. At the end of the day, they are humans like us, and they decide. What they decide is what we go with. If a ref gives you a yellow card, it's what it is, and we've had also issues when it has come to that. So I want us to go into a short break, and when we come back, we still have a lot of conversations to go about. Joel, your goal, I don't know how many goals you have. Do you know the goals you have at the club?
I even don't know for sure.
You don't know that you've ever scored even a goal. Do you know you've ever scored for KCCA Football Club?
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to come back to that, and your performances. You had a run of Man of the Match awards on very big games. A boy from regional to the Super League, and everything was turning around. Then how Emmanuel Anyama turned things around from not playing to being the top scorer of the club. All your stories are a bit magical and heavenly. But of course, as we go for a short break, I want to remind you that we have the International Holiday Schools program that is running at KCCA Football Club, and it kicks off tomorrow, the 30th June 2025. Registration is only 250,000 Ugandan shillings plus a 100,000 shillings payoff. That is only applicable to new children, and we only admit children from ages under 3 to under 17, as you can see on the graphic out there. You can see the activities that we have: football training, team building. So registration includes a training kit at 100,000. The training kit is strictly the shirt, the short, and socks. So that is what you get at 100,000. That is applicable to only new entrants. If you've not yet registered with KCCA Football Soccer Academy and you're a new entrant, you're going to pay 100,000. And after paying the 100,000, which is the registration fees, you go ahead and pay the 250,000, which is the training fees, and you pay that per month. Trainings will happen from Monday to Friday between 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the MTN Omondi Stadium. With that, allow us to go into a very short break, but when we come back, we are going to have your views and your reactions from the news that KCCA Football Club decided to renew Gabi's contract for more 2 years, and then also that exclusive interview from Coach Jackson Magera, who is the KCCA co-coach. Let us see you shortly. Yes, welcome back from that short break. I don't know if it is short, but it must be a long one. But we had to make the money. I had some conversation with my producer about the break. We are thinking it should be shorter or it should be longer, but that's a conversation we shall have next time. For those of you that have just joined now, with me in studio, I have Emmanuel Anyama, the club's top scorer from last season, and then the midfield maestro. They call you midfield maestro. Joel Sserunjogi is with me in studio, but also for those of you that have just joined, we have an exclusive interview that is coming shortly that we had with the co-coach Jackson Magera. Quickly, I want us to go through your social media reactions to Joel João Gabriel Cardoso renewing his contract at the club until 2027. I'm going to start with X, formerly Twitter. We have Matt M07 who says, Woyo, Woyo. Then we have Frank Zaga, who says the Brazilian international. Okurut Simp says, excited for the future. Well done to administration. Chikomeko says, Wano Watava. Then Emperor Augustus says, this is the seriousness we want. Gabi is a marvel to watch. Then Difference Official Nyini Chipale goes ahead to say, bagenda kuwulira kye bayita akaliro. Highlight Mugabe RM says, original version, duplicate ku Entebbe Roads. Yenzelu Wagamubezi says, yes sir. Rahman Matoviam, he says, started acting like a serious club again. KCCA has always been a serious club and acted like one. Then Dr. One says, here to cook. Kawabanga says, Joga Bonito. Then, yeah, roughly. Mpajire Moses Mwesigwa says, great news. Thank you, Gabi. And there is lots of comments that I cannot finish right now. That's on X. I'm going to read through the Facebook comments later on, but quick to go back to Anyama and Joel as we summarize this conversation, because we have to give some time for the coach's interview to roll, which we are going to watch here, all of us, and maybe after that we can have the parting shots. Anyama, briefly, you are into the national team squad. Did you ever envision or dream that one season or 2 seasons from the big league you would be representing Uganda as in the national team?
Well, being in a national team is a dream of every footballer. Every footballer dreams to be in the national team, and here is a dream come true in a provisional squad. I'm really grateful to be mentioned in the squad. And the competition is stiff there at the training. It's stiff, everyone is competing to be there to represent the nation. Squad. Yeah, to represent the nation, to be there at the final squad. And yeah, I'm also doing my best as a player. There's something I can do and there are things I cannot do, so I'm doing my best.
You do what you do.
Yeah, I do what I
Which
do.
Is scoring
and
goals.
I do what I know, yeah. And leaving the rest in the hands of coach and God. That's it.
They should know that you became the club's top scorer with very few games. You were banging brace after brace, 2 goals, 2 goals. So what was the magic? What was the motivation for you? Because the goals were coming in. I'm sure even Joel, your fellow player, was shocked. He couldn't recognize you.
One side, if you need 2 goals, look for Anyama.
For sure, it was really brace after brace. God was responsible for that, for it. Yeah, I have done my best as a player, but the energy, the whole energy, the motivation, thanks to God.
Yeah, it comes down with luck, I think, and then also God at some time, because with football you need luck to.
I think the luck, what people say luck is, I think God. Yeah, because luck is God.
But there is luck in.
Now, if you are not with God, how can you be lucky? Definitely you are.
Who
not
prays for the team? Because it looks like we have a pastor here. Do you ever pray for the team when the team is having their prayers?
Yeah.
Have you ever prayed?
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
You're the team's pastor. Has Joel ever prayed?
Yeah.
Aisha. Joel, do you know how to pray?
Yeah, I know how to pray.
I'm not going to tell you to give us a closing prayer here, but
But I can do so.
you can.
Yeah.
We're going to see about that. So as we move away from that, Joel, you've of course been in the national team before. You've been called provisional squad. As a player, what does it feel like? I know your journey is tremendous from regional to KCCA first team, not even second team, and you cemented your position there. You've had games where you've really played big games against Vipers, against Villa, and you've won man of the match. What are your strengths as a player, and what drives you to keep performing at the level that you perform?
Yeah, first of all, my strength is my brother. He was called Mutaba Julius. He used to play for
He
URI.
was called. He is.
He is.
He's no longer.
He's no longer playing football.
But he's still called.
Yeah. Yeah, he's called Mutaba Julius. He used to play for URI. Yeah. So whenever I used to watch his success, his achievements in football.
I was with him there. He didn't tell you about me.
He told me. He told me, of course.
I'm happy that I'm being talked about also.
Yeah.
Yes. I was at
Yeah,
URI.
I was
He
at
didn't know.
URI.
I was left KCCA to URI, then came back home. Home is always the best. You will also go under, but you'll come back here, as we always do.
Yeah, so whenever I used to watch his achievements in football, so I was like, yeah, I should achieve them also, like the way he did.
Or even do better.
Yeah. So that's like one of my motivations. Yeah.
And
That's
then
keeps me rolling again and again. Yeah.
And also being in the national team, a young boy from the regional to the league, one season you're already in the national team. What does it feel like? Because I can't have the emotions. I don't play football, so I don't know how it feels like. Maybe it's a normal thing, and I think it's special. When you had your first national team call-up, where were you and how did it
I was
feel
at
like?
home for it.
Did it feel real?
At first, I felt like it's a shock for me.
What were you doing when you got the phone call? And who called
I was
you?
at home, busy sleeping.
But for you,
Then
always
my-
busy sleeping.
Yeah, for me,
You remember you told
I
us?
enjoy sleeping a lot. I enjoy sleeping a lot. Even though I come for training in the morning, these guys find me sleeping.
Why are you always sleeping? What do you do at night?
No, I
Do you have
just
a
enjoy
job you
sleep.
do at night and
No.
during
For me,
day
I
you
just
sleep?
enjoy sleep.
You and sleep, you are like this.
Yeah.
Joel,
Yeah.
are we safe?
So my mom called me. Then she was like, Joel, did you hear the news? I was like, what news? She said, you're being summoned to the national team. I was like, I first hung up. Then I got my phone, I switched on the data. Then I started. Then when I saw my name, I was like, I couldn't believe it, for real. Then I called her back. I was like, Mom, it's the truth. Then she was happy. She yelled, Joel, thank you, congratulations, what. But I was so happy. Yeah.
That is what football can do. You hear the stories from Joel Sserunjogi being called up to the national team from regional. That is his story, by the way, from the regional league straight to the KCCA FC senior men's first team. That is a story to say, not forgetting that he actually fumbled the first game where he was trusted. He only played 20 minutes and he was substituted because the coach felt he wasn't doing enough. And he also said he had actually given 3 out of 10. So it shows you how development is when it comes to football. And as we summarize, Anyama, what are your ambitions at the club? What do you want to achieve at the club before we say goodbye to the viewers and leave them with the interview?
Yeah, I compare my vision with the club's vision. Club has its own vision, and club comes first before my own comes. If mine is lower than the club's vision, I need to raise mine to be at the same level with the club's vision. So, as a player, I said it's a dream of everyone to play in the national team, and national team is my dream. That's the first fight. That's a
And you
fight
achieved
effort.
that.
Yeah, and it has come true. Though there's some effort need to be added
Of
to
course.
make it complete. It's not yet a complete call. Yeah, so I wish to make it complete, and I'm working for that.
Okay, we pray and hope that you are into the final squad. Joel, your motivations, I mean, you're going into next season. What are your ambitions? And also your ambitions at the club. What do you want to achieve with the club?
I would want to win the trophy with the club next
Anyama, it
season.
seems, doesn't want to win trophies. He has not talked for him. It's national
Give me
team.
enough time. So you came in. I was still talking. You came in.
Because you don't have time. Yes, Joel, you can go on.
Yeah,
But
winning
people know, of
trophies.
course, you want to win trophies.
Yeah, being a salon with KCC. next season.
Okay,
Yes.
we wait and see. We have very many Salongos here.
Who and who?
I don't want to say maybe Anyama, you a Salongo. Anyama, have you learned
What is Salong?
Winning a duo.
Hey,
winning a double?
Double.
The Cup and the league.
Salongo.
A Salongo
Yeah.
is 2.
Yeah.
If you give birth to twins, you become a Salongo.
Hey.
And the woman, your wife, becomes a Nalongo. So 2 means Salongo in Luganda. You've not learned any Luganda words for the
I
time
have
you've
learned, but
spent.
not that specific one. At least I know.
Which words do you now know that were disturbing you? You know how to ask for food.
Yeah, I know how to ask. I know how to greet.
Only.
Jebaleko.
Kale nayo jebaleko.
Kale.
Kwaniriza ku KCFC TV.
Kale.
That is Anyama Emmanuel trying to learn some Luganda, and they've really been a very wonderful couple here with me today. Wonderful conversations that I've had with them. So without further ado, I want us to call this quits with today's show, but of course, I want to also bring to your attention that the KCCA Soccer Academy International Schools Holiday Program is still ongoing. If the producer can project that artwork for you people to see what is required and what we need. For children ages under 3 to under 17, we take children, of course, between that age gap, under 3, meaning from under 3 years old to under 17. We do not take people that are above 17, but if you have them, you can come and see and we have a talk. Registration is 250,000, but I'll start with the registration fees, which is 100,000. If you are new, if you haven't yet registered and you're new to the academy, you'll have to pay registration fees of 100,000, and that comes with the training kit, that is the shirt, the short, and the socks. Then after doing that, you have to pay 250,000 per month, which is actually the training fees. And if you can look at the graphic, those are the activities that be happening here at the KCCA Soccer Academy. We'll have those contacts there. Producer, can you please first put back that graphic so that people can see the contacts that they are supposed to call? Yes, those are the contacts. For more information, if you would like to make payment, get more information about the academy, those are the contacts you see right down there. And in case you want to make any payment, our sponsors, MTN, do have a Momo code. The club has a Momo code with MTN, so you can make the payment over there. With that, me and my crew, Anyama Emmanuel, thank you so much for appearing on KCFC TV for the first time. Joel Sserunjogi, thank you, and I wish you all the best with the national team. I really hope you do make the final cut and make it to the final squad. And at KCCA Football Club, me, my guests today, the management, the camera operators, the editors, the producers, and everyone that makes sure this show runs every Sunday from 8 to 9 p.m. We want to wish you a lovely weekend and a beautiful, blessed week ahead. As we go, we leave you with this exclusive interview from the co-coach, Jackson Magera. Enjoy it and good night. Coach, first of all, congratulations upon getting the job. Should I say finally, officially? How long have you had to wait to be where you are with KCCA? Because it has been a journey.
Thank you. You know, this game, it has no limited time or specific time, just a moment. So thank you for your congratulations word. I think God willing, everything will move on right and well.
As a person, of course, you have been in football circles. Was it ever in your wildest dreams to be at the helm at KCCA Football Club, to manage the team? Did you ever be there and maybe think, I think one day I would be at the helm and manage this team? Or it is something you never thought about?
I know what exactly my program as far as this game is concerned. It is me preparing well myself and doing the right things as far as coaching is concerned, and leave the rest to God.
Yeah, but then as you leave the rest to God, there are also plans you make as a person. As God plans, as people, we also have targets, plans, and maybe dreams. Did you ever dream of managing KCCA at the stage and having the job you have now at some point?
Exactly, but my number one dream was to manage any big club in this country. That was my dream. But good enough, I started with Villa, one of the most successful. Then KCC, the second one. So I thank God to have this opportunity.
Okay, let us run it back to when you started out at KCCA Football Club. You are with one of the most successful coaches at the club, Coach Mike Mutebi. You were under him. Then left to go to Villa, and then came back to KCCA where you are now. You've acted interim twice, I think. One when the club decided to mutually agree and terminate the contract with Sagio, and then also with Abdallah Mubiru. How does it feel as a person how does it feel as a person when you're always available for the club on interim basis, and doesn't it bother you?
First of all, I want to thank Coach Mike Mutebi for mentoring me well. For that point of interim, it's not so good because sometimes you don't want to see the people who started with working, leaving, and they say now you are going to take over. It's not so healthy. But according to the club's demands and maybe regulations, you're entitled to do that interim job.
You've acted interim twice. At some point, did you ever think maybe you should leave with the coaches that left, or did it ever cross your mind that you should go with the coaches that went? And how do you manage that as a coach that is with your fellow coaches and they leave and then you have to stay? How hard is it to manage that?
It is very hard because you don't want to, as I told you, you don't want to leave behind and the people who have been working with go on. So you feel you've been as one. So if one is leaving or two, then it demoralizes you a lot. But sometimes you can't escape it because of contractual rules and regulations. You're entitled to step in. But otherwise, it's not so healthy because it's a bit painful. Sometimes you lose confidence for a period of time. When it passes, maybe you start regaining your confidence. Yes.
When KCCA gave you a call, when you were coming back under Sagio Traguel, how easy was it for you to come back at the club at that time?
I welcomed it because I was excited. I was going to work with an European coach, moreover from Portuguese. I knew I'm going to learn very many things from him, but unfortunately, it did not last for a long period of time.
Yeah, but in that short period of time, did you learn something?
Exactly. There are certain things which I learned from him. So I thank God also for that opportunity.
Okay, when you talk of that, do you think maybe Uganda should have more foreign coaches and who bring in something different from what we have? What's your take on teams in Uganda hiring foreign coaches? Because some people are opposed, saying we have local coaches and they can get the job done. As a coach, what is your thought about that?
Not necessarily to hire foreign coaches because currently coaches in Uganda get some experience as far as coaching is concerned. They have gone to school now. Courses have been coming. I think they're brought with a lot of knowledge as far as this game is concerned. So it's just a matter of the owners of the clubs to trust the coaches that they can work and they give them time.
Okay, coach. Now let us go to the talk in town right now. Of course, the club confirmed you and Brian Senyondo as co-coaches. It's a new model for you. I don't think you've had this also as well. When it was suggested to you, what came into your mind to be a co-coach with Brian Senyondo? And how did you feel about it? And how do you see it as a coach?
Me personally, I don't feel anything about being with Senyondo as one coach because you can't run football all alone. You need the people who are good enough to help you to manage a team. So working with Senyondo as a co-coach, I don't think there is a problem. And being an head coach, that is just a title. So some of the head coaches You may think that the backroom staffs are the one doing the what? The heavy job. For the top man, sometimes just there to manage the game, and even you see them consulting these people.
More
So
of
that's
managing.
just yes, it's just a title. I don't think anything wrong with it because I've seen it taking place in other areas like South Africa with Sundowns and other areas. So me personally, I feel comfortable with it. I have no problem with it.
Maybe many people would say who then calls the shots, who then has the final say. But I think as a team, even in any organization, you work as a team and you all come down to a final decision as a technical team. Even when it comes, I've seen it at KCCA, when it comes to maybe a lineup, the coaches sit down and discuss, and at the end of the day, there is a final consensus and a final say where everyone has an output. How do you look forward to working with Coach Brian Senyondo? What is the way forward for you? What do you think of the partnership between you two? How much do you know him?
Brian Senyondo, I've seen him since 2012 when he was there in Masaka coaching Kasasa, Sinaje. I mean, one time I was coaching Chitovu. We were playing those, they call it Lamini tournament of brothers of Christian instruction schools.
You've known him for long.
Yes. I know him. He's not a coach who is jumpy, who is so talkative. I don't think there is a problem working with him. For the lineup thing, I think because at this level where we are, it's all about positional scouting. When you have what the opposition is going to do to affect you, you try to rectify those problems. You work them tactically, technically. Now, when you are doing that, you may see the players who are going to help you overcome the opposition. So I think depending on the ability of the players, you take a decision such that this one will help us when you are playing maybe Express or Villa or Vibe. From the training session, from everything which has been done on all that period before we reach that game. So the issue of lineup, I don't think it is so. As I told you, it's all about collective effort and understanding each other. When you believe in each other, it is very easy. So there's no problem about that.
Having seen Brian Senyondo's work, of course, you've said you followed him since 2012. What things or what experience, what new things is he bringing to KCCA Football Club to complement you and to complement the technical team?
First of all, he's a winner, the winning coach. Second, he's brave. He's brave. He's ready to swallow bullets. So that's the only major important thing which I've seen. I've seen it from him. I think it will help us to move where I want the club. He's brave, very courageous. You can't intimidate them. He's not so talkative. He concentrates on his job.
Okay, Coach, I want us to go back a little bit about from last season. You are interim for the last 8 games of the Stadiums Uganda Premier League, and then also you managed 3 games in the Stanbic Uganda Cup. If I'm not, I remember the 2-leg games. Actually, I think there were 4.
Kakungu.
Yes, the final, then the 2 legs against Kataka, then
And then a quarter-final.
Yes, the quarter-final. Looking at last season, and then what is the future like for KCCA Football Club going into the 2025-2026 season?
The future will be, I think, bright because there are some players who are energetic, still young. Only what we need is to improve them. So when we improve them better, they will be able to perform consistently. And when that happens, there will be high performance. Hence, the club will be able to win some trophies, I think.
You've worked with some of these players in the previous season, and I don't want us, of course, to pinpoint certain players, but do you feel that there needs to be maybe some change in the players going into the next season? Do you now have a list of players you think can boost up the team? And as we are going into the transfer window, how busy are you now already into the transfer window as the head coach planning for the upcoming season?
We are planning, but as per now, my colleague is outside the country, went for a FIFA workshop in Ivory Coast. So we are talking, but I need him when it will be very healthy and good when he's back, such that we can take decisions physically. So, but we have some areas, if you looked where we are supposed to beef, I think when we come back, I think on the weekend, coming next week, we shall be taking decisions for whom to come to help the team to go further.
Coach, KCCA has taken a long time to lift a trophy. Does this worry you as a coach? Does it put pressure on you that the fans are demanding for some silverware, the fans are demanding for a trophy, the management needs a trophy, the organization, the sponsors? How much pressure does this put on your shoulders as the coach right now going into the season, knowing that the club is in a trophy drought?
The pressure is there, it must be there, because KCC is a team which is a result-oriented club. So you can't walk out without that pressure. And coming like 6-7 years without a silverware trophy, it's absolutely not good for a team like KCC. So the pressure is extremely high. But because I've grown up in that pressure, I think there's nothing to worry about, only to do the right things to see that the club can win trophies.
I'm very sure you've identified certain places or certain areas that may need to be changed in the games that you've managed at the club. Do you think those areas, how easy is it to manage those areas? Of course, football needs time. When you get a squad, you need some time to handle it. You can't change 22 players in the transfer window. It's a phased out season. How easy do you think the job is that you've taken over?
It's a very big job, but again, we have to look for those areas where we have deficits, especially in the fullbacks, the attacking midfield, the center defenders. But again, we have to look for those players who has got the ability to come and work vis-a-vis the club's demands. Not every player is entitled to do that. So we have to be very keen and very, very analytical to see that we can get those players to fill in those gaps to help us to win trophies, or for the club is what? Further achieving greater things.
Okay, as we are coming to the end of this, Coach, maybe what are your ambitions at KCCA Football Club? At the end of your tenure, or when you decide to walk away from the club, what do you hope to have achieved during your tenure at the club?
Just me, I want to improve players such that they can consistently perform. So for proper development, then we need to improve them. So when they are improved, that they can perform consistently, it will be very easy for the club to achieve trophies. That is my word.
Your goal. Okay, maybe a word to the KCCA FC fans out there. Of course, they were mixed. There are those that are very happy that the club has co-coaches. There are those that are not happy that why is the club having co-coaches? It's new to their face. But as one of the coaches in the co-coaches structure, which words can you give them? It might be a word of encouragement, a word of them to relax and stay calm and tell them everything is okay. You're the man in charge with your colleague, and what should they expect at the end of next season, maybe?
First of all, I would like to thank them for the wonderful job they have done last season. They have been supporting us, being behind us in good times and bad times. So I thank them for that. And again, my humble request to them is to continue supporting the club. The co-coaching thing is just a new thing to them, but there's another thing for them to be worried about. Football, sometimes there are changes. These things are happening, and from certain areas outside the globe of Africa or Uganda, so we have to adopt. Okay, what I'm appealing to them is to stay with us in all moments. The club will achieve God willing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
It was
too.
nice having you.